a lot of talk about seam and swing, stemming from the fact that when the Kiwi bowlers were bowling, the ball moved around quite a bit. And when the Indians bowled, it did move as much. And I got a lot of messages saying, why did that happen? We had a wonderful, chat with Dale Steyn as well, explaining us beautifully about swing and seam. I'm going to extend that further and just sort of give you textbook knowledge and, just tell you how swing and seam evolved and how seam became more the thing than swing. So first and foremost, swing. How do you recognize a swing bowler or somebody swinging the ball? You just have to look at the wrist position. Even if the ball doesn't swing, he's trying to swing. So the first thing is you'll see an angled wrist like this. This is how the outswing will be attempted to bowl. So it will go down like this, and the in-swing will be like this. Imagine Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Mohammad Siraj bowling the in-swinger, and with the outswinger, you can imagine Umesh Yadav or a Kapil Dev going like that, Jimmy Anderson. So this is how they release it. So it's a slightly angled wrist both ways, and that was actually given in a proper diagram in the old coaching manuals. Seam is where the fingers behind the seam are straighter and the ball is released, bowled upright like this. Zaheer Khan to an extent would do that. Mohammad Shami is a classic example of seam, just getting that ball down there like this. So in this case, the ball goes more or less straight in the air unless there is some wind factor, it moves, or if the pitch is really green, it moves in the air. But these guys are essentially looking to hit the ground with the seam, and then the ball moves off the seam. The old-fashioned term for that was off-cutter and leg cutter. And these guys with straight seam still had the mastery, and Mohammad Shami, people like him, have the mastery of pitching the ball on a seam in such a way that the ball will go, leave the right-hander and sometimes nick back. And sometimes you get the natural variation. But what is fascinating is how swing slowly started dying as an art and seam became the thing. So there's one great example I want to give you of Manoj Prabhakar, a fast bowler, seam bowler of the 90s. Now, when he was coming into the Indian team, making a name for himself at the domestic level, boy, this guy had great swing skills. He used to bowl banana swing, just like Bob Massey of the old. Big outswingers and big in-swingers. There were evidences and incidents of batsmen falling over suddenly, when that big in-swinger came in. So Manoj Prabhakar plays for India, comes to the highest level, and as luck would have it, finds himself in Sharjah against Viv Richards. Comes in with a new ball, bowls a big outswinger. Viv Richards with the swing hits him to the covers, one bounce into the stands. Big in-swinger flicks him on the leg side, and that was an eye-opener for Manoj Prabhakar and for many swing bowlers, that if you swung it early, good batsmen will know exactly what's coming and they are ready for it. And that day, Manoj Prabhakar decided that he was going to become more of a seam bowler. Means he was not going to do this to give an early indication to the batter. He was going to do more this and get little movement of the pitch. And then Glenn McGrath was the famous sort of leader of this thought and skill, just keeping it in the channel outside the off stump. So you saw a lot of swing bowlers turn into seam bowlers. Swing bowlers of the past, plenty. There are some famous ones. Bob Massey was one of the 70s. Terry Alderman made life miserable for English batsmen in English conditions with his swing bowling. And he bowled at a speed of 120. I've faced him as well. And got a lot of wickets. And swing bowlers, another way to recognize a swing bowler is that they are generally a little slow. Jimmy Anderson now swings the ball. Great bowler, but his speed is never upwards of 145. So they are generally a bit slow. Then you've got Balwinder Singh Sandhu's famous, swing bowling exhibition in the World Cup final in 1983. Kapil Dev, another great example. Wasim Akram, swing bowler. I also had a personal sort of experience playing against him. And Sachin Tendulkar and me, both of us were able to recognize Wasim's swing, looking at his wrist. So when he would do this, we would know that the ball is coming back in. When we would do this to a right-hander, the ball would leave. So we had some inkling as to what Wasim Akram was doing with the swing bowling. Because he was so quick, it was very difficult to play. So that's how seam bowling became the thing. Because now, when the batter is looking at the bowler running in, there is absolutely no indication to him what the ball is going to do, because it's coming straight like this. So you're sort of till the very last minute unsure what's going to happen. But if you see this kind of a risk, it's an outswinger. So he's only relying on that little time that he gets off the pitch where the ball is going to come back in or leave. So that became the thing, and more a skill that bowlers started to use. Now, coming back to this test match, swing really worked for New Zealand in conditions that were ideal, and some Indian batters weren't comfortable against swing. Maybe we are entering a phase where batters will start struggling against swing again, like in the past, and maybe they're better against seam. But that was New Zealand getting Saudi, in that fashion to get the ball to swing, and that's why you saw the ball moving around. Indian bowlers were looking for help from the pitch. Bumrah later on was trying to get some movement in the air, bowled it fully. Ishant Sharma got a wicket with the ball that was full and swung a little bit. But they were looking more for movement of the pitch because they're naturally seam bowlers getting it up there. Now, what is better, swing or seam? Well, it depends on the batter first. But India may have looked innocuous with the new ball as compared to New Zealand. But as the test match progresses, and that's one of the facts of any test match, is the pitch. As it ages, we'll have a little bit of uncertainty in the surface, and that's where quick seam bowlers who hit the deck with no warning in the air rule. And that's why India is still in this game, because if at all there is any little uncertainty in the pitch, we saw Shami getting the ball to rear, that was because he was hitting the seam hard. A swing bowler won't be able to do it. So that's it. That's swing versus seam. The pros of swing, the cons of swing, and same with seam as well. Finally, when I looked at all the great bowlers who've got wickets in England, there are some great seam bowlers there, and there are some great swing bowlers too.